grabs the board. Simmons to Embiid, down the lane, runs into Tice, blocking foul, and one.
Wow, I am really impressed. The 76ers are the one seed in the Eastern Conference. They did play a Tatumless Celtics tonight, winning 122 to 110. So I decided I'll hop on here and break it down for all you. I think the obvious place to start is with Joe Embiid. He put up a 38 points with while shooting 73% from the field, 100% from three, and 93 from the charity stripe. It was really a night and day in the first half when Embiid was on and off the court. He got into foul trouble pretty early in the game. The Celtics tried to throw Daniel Tice and Tristan Thompson at him. And I know this is obvious to point out, saying that he's in the MVP conversation, but I think it's good to point out that Embiid is playing at a level that we have not yet seen him at. He didn't really progress last year, and he's admitted that himself. So seeing this level of play out of him is a good sign for Philadelphia. Another good sign for Philadelphia, they seem to have figured out their bench rotation. So in the beginning of the game, they started with Mike Scott injured. They've been playing Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris rotating through the bench units, and that just doesn't work. Simmons doesn't work with Howard. They don't work too well together. Neither of them are shooting threats. Then it's up to Korkmaz and Milton, really, and they'll also throw Thibault on there, but he's not a great shooter. So it's really down to the Milton and Korkmaz to make threes. So I really thought it worked a lot better when it was Harris on the floor with the bench unit instead. A bench player who really shined tonight, Thibault. 2 blocks, 9 points, couple of key lockdowns on Kemba Walker during that game. Kemba only put up 3 points while being guarded by Matisse Thybulle throughout the game. They just worked really smoothly. Some good transition points. And speaking of transition points, that's a good time to transfer on to Ben Simmons. He started this game pretty slow. He had 4 points in the first 3 quarters. Picking up fourth quarter, he put up 11 points with 2 steals and a couple of key assists. Helped the Sixers take a dominant lead in the fourth quarter. The Celtics obviously were missing Jason Tatum. That's been accounted for, but for a team that's missing their star player, they played as well as they really could have. I mean, Jaylen Brown had 42 points, Kemba Walker had 19, Marcus Smart had 20. The main problem is that other than those 3 guys, they really don't have anybody scoring. Teague had 3 points, Green had 7. They just need... They're not deep enough. Tice at 7. They really only have 3 guys when Tatum's not in the game. And Pritchard, the rookie this year, was injured early in the game by Jaylen Brown fell on his leg. So I hope he's okay. Shout out to him. Another big factor in this game was the referees. They were god awful. A couple of very badly botched calls on both sides. A large part of it was the debate back and forth with Joel Embiid and Marcus Smart. They had some post-game interview, little jaunts thrown back and forth at each other, and of course the referees had to pick up on it. But there was some fouls called on Embiid where wasn't even touched. Kemba got a foul, drew a foul from Seth Curry when Curry didn't touch him. There was just some really questionable calls in this game, and that could have played a factor, but it was pretty evenly questionable, so I don't really think it would have changed too much. But yeah, the 76ers, one seed in the Eastern Conference. Now a lot of those wins have either come at home or against injured teams. They have played, or COVID stricken teams. They have played the Heat twice and won both those games, and the Celtics twice and won both those games. Though it is worthy to note that in 3 of those games, the Sixers were missing at least a player or a rotation player due to COVID or injuries. The first Celtics game, it was Curry and Mike Scott. In the 2 Heat games, they were missing, if I'm not mistaken, Tobias Harris and Seth Curry still, Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle. They were missing a lot of rotation players. So I think it is too early to judge, but I do think that the all-season's moves made by the Sixers were definitely necessary and worthwhile. The Richardson trade for Curry and the Horford trade for Green. Um, the bench rotation still needs some tweaking. Who's going to get minutes, who's not? Is Scott going to get back into the rotation? Is Maxey going to find his way into the rotation? After putting up 42 points in that game against the Nuggets a couple weeks ago, he only had 6 minutes logged tonight. So, I mean, we'll see what happens there. You really can't pull Thybulle at the rate he's playing. Same with Milton. Korkmaz, questionable. They could run an 11-man rotation, but yeah, we'll have to see what they decide to do. But the Sixers, one seed in the East.